Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Oh, sister, the downloads I'm getting from podcast consumption right now, specifically the Oprah Super Soul Sunday podcast, I highly recommend you listen to that. It is incredible. And I know that these are the Oprah Super Soul Sunday conversations, like video, right, on their own network, that they've taken the audio and put it in a podcast. So I know some of these are older ones, but to me, they're all brand new because I started diving into them about maybe, 4 or 6 weeks ago, and I'm just listening to so many. But one from a spiritual teacher, which his name is Panache, it was interesting. There was a question. So this podcast, we're going to talk about this. This is what really kind of struck me, is when he said this, when he was saying about being fully present. And we've all heard that before, right? But Oprah said, you keep saying being fully present. What does that really mean? And so he said, this is really what it means, is that to be fully available for the experience. I was like, oh, dang. Or as my boys would say, oh, snap, mommy. To be fully available for the experience. And what he kind of went on to say, and then I just stopped it. I'm like, I got to talk into this right now. This is perfect. He started to say that, we think it's about lessons. It's not about lessons. It's about being fully available for the experience. That's present, right? I think when we start to kind of look for the lesson, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's a really good place to come from as well, for sure. But I think what happens, and what I think, I don't know what they're going to say next, is I literally stopped the podcast. I'm like, I got to do this. I have to record my own podcast right now about this, is I believe that when we start to go to the what's the lesson, we remove ourselves from the experience, right? We sometimes are so quick to get to the point of, okay, well, this sucks. Okay, so what's coming up for me right now? What is the thing I'm supposed to see? Oh, it's this thing. Okay, cool. As opposed to being fully available for the experience, feeling all of the things that you were feeling, not stopping the feelings. He had a really cool thing too, he said earlier in this podcast episode, which was when people will take those feelings come up and they think that they shouldn't feel those things, anger, rage, upset, right? And then just kind of squish it, his words, squish it down. And I've often talked about that too in podcast episodes, and coaching women is just if we take these emotions, these things, these experiences, and think that if we just it's like a blow up inner tube, and we can put it under the water, we can squash it, we can numb, we can put it below where we don't have to deal and see it. But then inevitably, you know what happens with those inner tubes? They got to pop back up, right? They got to pop back up. And a lot of times those unexpressed emotions, unreleased, not fully processed or not processed at all, are going to come out like gangbusters if you just keep squashing them down. But I thought that was so fascinating about his definition of being present, which isn't about what am I supposed to see? It's almost it's a different evolution of this, right? Or a next step of there'll be some of you that'll still be oh, well, why did they say that? And why did they do that? And what a fucking asshole. Why is this always happening to me? Life is you're going to maybe be in that space. And listen, I honor and respect wherever you are. This is not about judgment. This is not about you should be here. If you right now are in that space and you're the lesson, fuck that. There's no, what's the lesson? I'm an idiot. You're not open to maybe seeing something different. And that's totally okay. It is absolutely okay. I don't judge anyone's journey. I don't judge anyone's process. I know that what's happening right now, that it's just simply trusting what's happening and knowing that there's something for you to see in that space, right? So I think you can go from the space of this sucks and this always happens to me to okay, cool. This does suck, but what am I supposed to be learning and seeing? And then the way that I heard, so this teacher Panache explain it was, in the way, again, what I read into this without hearing what the rest of their conversation now is into this topic, is the next thing is really just like, man, I'm just going to be in this. Like, you're an observer, but you're in it at the same time. You're very aware. I'm going to be available for the experience right now. And so I think of, when I'm with my kids. And so today as I record this, it is my youngest son Kai's 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Kai Duran. Oh my God. Kai, 5 years old. And so, he was up by the time that I came back from walking the dogs early this morning. It's actually a little bit late in the morning. He was like, I was just waiting for you, Mommy. I'm like, oh, buddy, happy birthday. He'd already gotten up. He's sitting on the couch, just sitting there waiting with his blanket, naked, of course. His, the way that he likes to roll, naked. And so I was like, hey, buddy, would you like to have one of your presents, like right now? Would that be exciting? He's like, yeah. Because his birthday, it's on a Thursday. And so we are going to have a little birthday dinner. He wants to do sushi. It's fun, but Mommy. We're going to do sushi, and we've got some special cupcakes that I had ordered, and then on Saturday is his birthday party with his friends. It's really his first real birthday party, and so it'll be a ton of fun. So I let him have one of his presents, and he is crazy over those out-of-the-wall dolls. So I don't know if you have girls who like them or boys who whatever. I don't care. Kai loves dolls and pretty things and beautiful things and dressing them, and so I got them. I just went onto Amazon. I'm just ordering a whole bunch of them. And I think I have 5 of them. These, the out-of-the-wall balls. And they, as you know, they open them up. It's they roll off the plastic. Then there's something in the layer. There's little stickers, and they roll it off. And then it's got a little clue as to what it's going to be. It's the whole element of surprise. They don't know what they're getting. These collectible little plastic doll things, right? And so as I'm in these, and I'm just, he's like, Mommy, let me show you. Because he's gotten a couple before. And I'm just, he's just kind of doing his thing. He's opening them and stuff. I'm not really there with him. I'm in the room, but I'm doing other stuff, or I'm tidying up, or I'm making food, or, doing mom stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be fully, I realize this now. I'm going to be fully available for the experience. This is the day that my son turns 5. I will never have this day again. And then today, this morning, he's with our babysitter, and he goes to his summer. So he's in summer camp this afternoon for a couple hours. And then I pick him up, and then we'll hang out together as a family. But I'm I'm just going to be here. So he's showing me all the stuff. I'm like, oh, are those her little shoes? Oh, they're so cute, buddy. Yeah, Mommy, I love them. And then he's showing me the little paper that shows you all the different, good marketing too, right? All the different dolls that you can actually collect. You can kind of check them off or circle them, have your little chart of the ones that you've actually collected so far. And I just was with him in that experience. And it is this beautiful space to be in. I know that, time's starting to tick away a little bit because it's morning and we need to get the kids moving. But I'm all is well. I don't need to stress about stuff. I just want to be with my son right now. I want to be fully available for the experience. And I think that if we can go to that kind of next step, that, not doing the let me look for the lesson. I think we're going to see it in that state anyways. When I go there with my kids, I don't know about you, if you're a mom, when you're in that zone with the kids at those times, you're like, man, these children are my greatest little sages, my greatest little teachers, my greatest little spiritual gurus, teach me, oh little ones who sometimes are insane, right? And challenging. But then you go man, I'm just present. What a beautiful space to be in. I'm not thinking about what happened a moment ago, yesterday. I'm not thinking about what's going to happen. I'm just here with him right now. What an honoring way for me to be with my son, or any human being for that matter. How about even just being present with yourself, right? Allowing yourself to have time in stillness each day, in meditation, or you're journaling, or you're reading, or you're just breathing for 30 seconds. Are you fully available for the experience? Are you fully available for the experience? So we're going to make this a short podcast because there's really nothing else to say with this. So let's do this. Let's go right to our more tips. So I want you to choose one thing that's coming up in your day. So maybe you go, I got a workout scheduled. I'm going to yoga class. I have a date night with my husband. I'm meeting some girlfriends. I am cooking food for my children tonight, my family. I am going on a play date with the kids, another family, like whatever it is. I'm working. Okay, I'm doing laundry. Like, it doesn't have to be anything like special or, whatever. Like, I just want you to think of one thing today that you are doing and to commit to being fully available for the experience. Fully available for the experience. And I think what you're going to experience, sister, is a calm and a peace. And again, it could be like you're making dinner, right? You're folding laundry. You are, I don't know, maybe you're in school, like you're studying. You're studying something just for your own well-being, your own personal development. You are meditating. Listen, I can meditate and my mind starts to go off. And listen, I've been meditating daily for almost a year. So just know, like, it's, it's a process for all of these things, right? There's no perfection with it. And I notice that these days. I'm like, man, I'm not really fully available for this experience. Like, I'm allowing my mind to wander off. Let me bring myself back to center, back to breath. And then because I use a meditation device called Muse, which actually measures my brain activity, I'm able to see the difference. I mean, I feel it in my body for sure, but I can see what the measures calm points and measures the percentage of calmness that you're actually in when you get to really deep states of calm. They hear little bird tweets, and it measures the bird tweets, like all this kind of stuff, right? So choose one thing that you're doing today, and I want you to be fully available for the experience. And then here's like a little bonus piece to this, like journal afterwards. Like what was that experience like for you? What did you learn from that? What came up for you? Maybe you're going to notice you're like, man, I realized like it felt so calm and God, I don't do that often. Or like never, right? Or maybe you might even notice that it's hard. You're like, well, let me check my phone. Because we're used to being in this like hyper-stimulated world these days. That to be still, it seems funny, but it's like the hardest thing. I remember when I started yoga for the first time like years ago. I probably started doing yoga about 20 years ago. I don't practice currently. I'm actually looking at going back to doing just a class each week. But I can remember the hardest pose and posture for me was Shavasana, which is lying on your back with your arms out, your legs like, kind of spread wide, like just like relaxing on your back. That was the hardest for me. Put me in something like warrior and like camel and, anything else like where I have to really like work hard. Then that I could totally, like I could be at one with that, but put me in stillness, oh dang. My mind was just whirling. So there you go, sister. So make sure, by the way, if you don't already subscribe to the Women Wanting to More newsletter, to do that right now. So head over to drkarenosborne.com/action guide. I'm going to send you some 3 really amazing video trainings that you're going to love. Going to bring lots of value to you and in your life. And to make sure to stay in the loop, there's a lot of things that will be coming up in the future. Right now, as you know, I've been speaking with the podcast. I'm on a pause right now with coaching outside of the sisterhood and outside of this podcast. And I am just, I'm doing just that. I'm fully available for the experience that I'm currently in through this spiritual journey, awakening, breakdown, all of it. So there you go, sister. So I will talk to the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you being fully present as much as you possibly can every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.